I don't know what to say. Will you learn to keep away? If not, my nunchucks pack a punch. I'll beat you up just in time for lunch. Speaking of lunch, we going 6 or 12-inch? Doesn't really matter. I'll go Hawaiian in a pinch. We are ninjas. We are brothers. We're united. And we're strong. We are ninjas. We are turtles. We are heroes. Sing our song. We are ninjas. We are brothers. We're united. And we're strong. We are ninjas. We are turtles. We are heroes. And this is our song. Are you ready? Let's go. The Legend of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Part 1, Chapter 58, Differences. Written and performed by Joseph Chambers and based on the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic books created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. Michelangelo had decided to have some unorthodox fun and, with the help from a bored Donatello, had built a spring platform and lever system that when a pie was placed on top of would compress and only be released when the door to the fridge was opened. It was meant to go off on Raphael and get him back for calling Michelangelo a doo-doo head and a complete waste of space that others with more brains needed, after Michelangelo had claimed he thought Tunisia was one of the 50 states of the USA. Instead, Raphael outright refused to bring Michelangelo a frozen yogurt out of the fridge when asked, although Master Splinter was more than happy to get this for Michelangelo. "Do something!" Michelangelo whispered to Donatello, pointing towards Splinter opening the fridge door. Donatello was focusing on some computations for the circuitry of his shell cell so he could boost the signal strength, and wasn't even sure what Michelangelo was blithering on about, and when he worked it out, Master Splinter was already covered in puff pastry and apple chunks. Master Splinter turned slowly towards the two figures of Donnie and Mikey cowering behind the sofa, and only said one word. It was all that needed saying. "Here!" he boldly barked as a large chunk of apple sauce detached itself from the end of one of his many whiskers and plopped onto his foot. Just as this was happening, Leonardo felt himself slipping deeper and deeper into the darker realms of his mind. How could I be so stupid for having not seen all of this coming? Why am I becoming less of a ninja by the day? Why have I become so impatient with everyone? What is happening to me? Leo glanced down at his homework. All the words were there. All the answers were in his head. Why were his hands not already making the answers appear? He got out of the wooden seat that was one of 4 in the room and paced backwards and forwards, trying to find answers that did not exist for questions that did not need to be thought about. Due to the limited number of rooms in the lair, this was a room that functioned as both Leonardo's bedroom and a study for the 4 turtles when Master Splinter was giving them non-ninjutsu-based tuition. It had a minimalist approach and contained about 30 different books, all of which were in poor condition but on the most part still readable. These were on a 3-tier bookcase in the far corner of the room, and besides this there was nothing but a nightstand, a bed and 4 desks. The desks were well worn and graffitied from their previous middle school home. Leonardo continued to pace for over 10 minutes until he realised his feet were aching and he was a bit dizzy. He decided that he would ask his father for help. Perhaps he would benefit from either general help with his work or just a soothing word of guidance. When he opened the door, he was met with the scene of Donatello and Michelangelo being told off by an apple-sodden sensei and Raphael laughing with glee at the backfired events. Maybe he would try again when his father was less preoccupied and not smelling of an orchard. Later that day, Mikey had once again tried to get Leonardo to stop working by requesting he play a board game or a video game. His brother looked a bit skinnier than usual, and paler. Not only that, but the bags under his eyes were much more noticeable. Michelangelo did not fail to notice any of these. He did not know what these signs meant and tried to repress the little he did know, but he noticed nonetheless. "You know, there is something we can do," Leonardo said after a little thought. "Okay, I'm listening." Michelangelo perked up, blindly optimistic for Leonardo to have a miraculous change of heart. "You and Raphael might have the right idea about doing this whole thing as a duo. Mind you, this could be dangerous. I need you to promise to do exactly as I say. This is not going to be easy, but it would be saving everyone and everything we have ever known." "I'm in," Michelangelo said, entrusting his seemingly much older twin brother with saving his life and that of everyone else, without any doubt of the actual possibility of him doing so. So once again, Michelangelo was setting off to do something drastic and foolish with another brother, both desperate for confirmation that they were still worth the air they breathed. Meanwhile, the large figure of Mrs. O'Neill darkened the doorway of a shabby apartment block in an area of New York City she did not feel welcome in. She had been sworn at 4 times, given dirty looks by everyone, and seen at least 6 drunk people, one of whom looked under 12, all in the same street. It probably did not help that she was wearing a pink fluffy coat with a clutch bag that practically spewed the description of middle trying to be upper class and putting my nose up at everything around me as I see it is all beneath me. Every building seemed to qualify for at least one of 3 conditions. 1. Graffitied in a way that was not artistic or clever, but successful at being derogatory and insulting towards everyone possible who had the misfortune of seeing it. 2. Broken or cracked windows that looked like they were about to fall out of their frail frames and hurt someone at any moment. Amanda was slightly cheered up to see a colourful stained window, and then she adjusted her glasses to be nearer to her eyes and was nearly sick with fear when she realised that this was not a nice jolly display of individualism, but a massive crack where a bullet had clearly penetrated the glass, surrounded by something red that was clearly not there for any decoration or aesthetically pleasing purposes. 3. Covered with police tape or signs that said "Abandoned, do not enter," and yet seemingly still occupied. Amanda rang the doorbell of one apartment and removed her fingers quickly when she realised how sticky it was with some kind of black substance. She dreaded to think of its origin.